I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Dr. Gene Dorio.
on your hometown station 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, our guest this morning is Dr. Ginny Veloz of Santa Clarita Hearing Center. Good morning.
Good
No,
morning.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Keep making.
Hello.
We don't come on at 11 anymore. We
I
come on at noon.
know.
Yeah.
I
How are you
know.
today, my
I'm
love?
so good, thank you. How are
Good.
you?
Welcome,
Doing
welcome.
terrific. Doing
Yeah.
terrific.
It's always fun to
So,
be here.
yes. And how are
We have
you,
a good
Dr.
time.
D?
Very good, very good. I came back from a trip up north. I actually got blown back down here. Uh, and and
Yeah, we missed you last week.
yep. We were at Robin's daughter's wedding, and it was wonderful.
Wonderful.
Got to be up in the Palo Alto area, and yeah, it was very breezy up there to say the least. But it was fun and a great trip, and we were very excited about Amy. She joined the Smith family, so it's been fun week for us. Enjoy our time up there and see different weather as well. But we got blown back down there, like I said, and like being back in our home, Santa Clarita. So welcome, Jenny. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
nice to get away, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also nice to come home.
For
It
sure.
really
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Ginny.
Yes, that's me. That's
Yes,
me.
yes, yes. Um, let's get into our subject,
Okay.
hearing loss.
Yes. I'm all about
Well,
ears.
yes, ears, ears, ears.
Ears.
What got you started in this profession?
Well, it occurred to me that I've been here talking for over a year now, and I never really kind of introduced myself and, why I do what I do. Um,
And what got you started?
well, I,
That's
s- I
important.
actually started in psychology. I have a degree in
Huh.
psychology and got out of school and said, okay, now what? And there was really not much to do but go back to school. And I decided I didn't want to go back to school. I wanted to take a little bit of time and work, and I did. And I became very interested in speech pathology. And I really wanted to
Hmm.
work in the hospitals with stroke people, stroke patients.
Right? You mean putting the psychology aside.
Putting psychology aside, I
That
thought,
wasn't your
well, it's like, what do you want to do for I could work in a group home at night, weekends, and it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I said, let's take a break. But I got into speech pathology, that's really what I wanted to do, was work in the hospital setting. And I went to school, and good Lord, my classes did not jive with me. I got my undergraduate degree, but I fell in love with hearing. I fell in love with the anatomy of the ear, how it worked, the science. Um, and my dad, who has passed away, he had hearing loss from a couple different things, but the main thing was he had chemotherapy. He had cisplatin, which is a strong chemotherapy that's toxic to the ears and the balance system. And he was
oh.
left with a great amount of hearing loss. And he was left with very, very poor word understanding. He was probably
Hmm.
getting about 40% of what he heard. And here he is, his daughter's now an audiologist, and I can fit him with the best of the best. And he understood about 40% of what he heard. And that's just the way it was. Um, but I was on that side of it, the frustration of having to repeat myself, having to look at him when I spoke with him. His frustration of my mom would shut the cabinet door and he'd say, "Don't slam it, it's so loud." And his
Hmm.
frustration and the communication and the social aspect and the getting in a restaurant and he couldn't hear because it was too noisy. I've been on that side of it. And now I'm on this side of it. And so I feel
Hmm.
like I have an empathy I can bring to my patients. And that's really what drives me because I know how frustrating it can be. And I love when my patients come back and they're able to rejoin their friends and do the things that they stopped doing because of their hearing loss. Um, and my dad, he didn't stop living his life. He had to deal, he faced the hearing loss straight on. But it was, very, very frustrating. And so I do see what my patients go through, really from their side of it as well. So,
Well, I experienced the same thing with Russ
yeah.
several years ago, because I would be kind of walking away from him or walking by him, and I would say something to him. He said, "What'd you say? What'd you say?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?" And I kept thinking to myself, something's off here,
Well,
and it became so apparent to me, but it wasn't apparent to him.
and yeah, and
And
that
I don't know whether that's denial.
it's part denial, I
I'm
think.
sure it is, especially with men.
Yep.
I think,
Yeah, I
especially
mean,
with men.
it certainly goes both ways. And the frustrating thing is that when the person like Russ says, "What was that? What did you say?" To us, that means I didn't hear you. So we raise our voice.
Absolutely.
And when we raise our voice, the psychological part of it means we're yelling and
Yeah,
we're
don't
angry.
shout. Don't shout.
Why are you mad at me? I just asked you a
Oh, I
simple
went through that.
question. And
Oh,
so
no.
it's for me, I like to counsel my patients on, you know, when you missed a word or two, don't say, "Huh, what?" Say, "I'm sorry, you asked me what I wanted, what, for dinner? Do you ask me something like, did I want this for dinner?" Then I know, okay, you did hear me. You were listening. Because again, on our side of it, it's what, huh, or no response at all. You're not listening. You don't care what I have to say. You're not paying attention to me. The TV is more important than I am. And a lot of times it's not that. It's just simply that they didn't hear.
That's right.
Right.
That's
So
right.
it's both, we both have to come together and meet and, kind of do our
Absolutely.
part
Absolutely.
to
Well,
help.
the other thing too, as you mentioned, the TV.
Yeah.
Russ kept saying, "You want to turn that up a little bit? Turn it up, turn it up."
Yeah.
And to me, it was blaring in my ears
Yeah.
because I don't have any hearing loss at all.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, wait a minute, what's going on here? And we finally had a talk,
Yeah.
I said, "You're not understanding me, and you're not hearing me. Do you think we could go, you may have a problem in one of your ears, and why don't we go see an audiologist and check it out?" And
Yeah.
he finally decided that, okay, something is wrong.
Well, and I give him a lot of credit because that's so hard to come to terms
Yes.
with. And I do understand
It
that.
was very hard for him.
Because it's really, hearing loss is a funny thing. With our eyes, either everything is blurry or everything is clear. It's not, it's not half and half. And with hearing, there's some sounds that can come in well
Yes.
and other sounds that don't. And so sometimes when I talk to the men, I hear fine. I don't have a problem. It's women. They talk too fast. They look down when they talk. They mumble. See, so it's kind of like, okay, well, you're both right. Yes, men's voices come in clear. Women's voices are more difficult. Let's do something about it. Let's see what we can do to help you.
But you're right. Women do speak very fast.
Well, and men can mumble.
That's right.
And we won't
What'd you
talk about
say?
the kids, the teenagers speaking in their slang words and their,
Oh.
yeah, I know it can be really difficult. But what the grandkids have to say is very, very important. That's what life is all about.
Absolutely.
And I have learned in my old age that
What do you mean your old age? Wait a minute,
Oh,
young
yeah.
lady.
I have learned there's a very, very special bond with grandparents and grandchildren. And what my parent won't do for me, they will do if my child asks them to do it. It's so amazing to me. There's just that special bond. And so, I really want to make it very, very important. It's very important to me that my patients can hear their grandkids, the great grandkids, because that is what life is about. That
That's
right
Yep.
there. Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Because they are growing up. You've already grown up for the most
Yeah.
part, but they
Mhm.
haven't.
And this is the part where you don't have to deal with the everyday business of raising
Hmm.
a child. You get to do the fun part. You
That's
get to,
right. Yes, I love it.
So, enjoy those times. I want you to get together. The holidays are coming, believe it or not. Can't believe it. Um, we're going to gather, for Thanksgiving. We may gather for Christmas with family. We may be outdoors. We may be indoors. Who knows? But God, that's what we want to hear. Don't
Yes.
wait until you're struggling and missing everything at Christmas to finally say, okay, I'll do something about it. Do it now. Be ready because the good times, the memories are, you're going to make memories and, you don't want to miss that.
No, that's very true. And families are going to get together more often from now until the end of the year
Hmm.
and beyond.
Yeah.
And that's a family time, the holidays, the
Yeah.
Thanksgiving and
Yep.
the Christmas and the New Year's.
Hmm.
And it's very, very important. It really is. So if you're out there and you have a sense that you're not hearing everything, go get it checked out. It's very, very important.
Yeah. Just
It
get it
really is.
checked. Just get it checked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Won't
And
hurt
and
you at all.
Doesn't hurt.
for our
No.
family, one of the things that we noticed, all of us noticed many years ago, was when we come up to our mom's place, we could hear the television from the street. So
Mm.
that was one of the very, very first signs that my mom was having hearing problems. But
Hmm.
right away, we got her earphones for the television, and that made a difference.
Mm.
But she has an intention tremor, so she couldn't put the batteries in. We got her hearing aids, couldn't put the batteries in, and she had trouble with it. We visited my uncle in Canada, where my mom grew up, was born and grew up, and we realized that my uncle couldn't hear, and it was terrible, and he had the same problem. So he was
Interesting.
about 6 or 7 years older, so he was leading the way for us to realize that she was going to get worse. He got worse, she got worse,
Hmm.
and now she's 99, and
Wow.
she's really, can't use a hearing aid, uses earphones all the time, but can stay in touch with her grandkids and great grandkids. So you can try to realize it beforehand, but sometimes, she didn't want to get an implant.
Mm.
So it left her and her brother just unable to really enjoy everything they could have. But science and technology is making a big difference now, Jenny,
Hmm.
in where we can utilize more than just earphones for our patients.
Yeah, and that the difficulty with the batteries, everybody wants small, make it invisible. Well, the batteries are very
Mhm.
small if the hearing aid is small. And then you got that little sticker that you got to try to peel off, and you
Yeah.
got to grab, who can, that's difficult. Um, and that's why probably 90% of the hearing aids I dispense today have rechargeable batteries. There are no batteries
Hmm.
anymore. You put them in a charger at night and they
Yep.
charge up while you're sleeping and you put them in and you got a full day's worth to go. So it's made it so much easier for people
Oh,
not having to
yes.
change those batteries.
Yes.
So yeah,
Because you'd never know when they were going to go out. I mean, they would go
that's
out, bang, they're out.
that's true. That's true. Some of them they gave you just a couple minutes and that was
Yes,
that.
and that was
And it
it.
was always at the worst possible
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
Hmm.
But now, no, you can be assured that you're going to put the hearing aids on in the morning and go, and you're going to get a full day of no problem, no battery warning. Put them in the charger at night, and they charge up while you're sleeping, and you're good to go with a full charge in the morning.
That's
so great.
incredible.
My patients love it. Yeah,
I
it's
bet.
really good.
So the technology has really, really improved.
Always, always improving, always trying to find the difficulties, the niche products that people have. You know, some of my patients will come in and they say, well, my hair, I hear my hair rubbing on the microphone. What can I do about that? And now we have a hearing aid that has a microphone actually in your ear. Right? And so
Oh,
for those people who have difficulty when the wind is blowing and their hair runs over the microphone, well, you just switch it on, turn that microphone off, turn the one on inside your ear, and guess what? No more hair rubbing on the microphone.
that's incredible.
Yeah, we try to have solutions. You know, you're coming to me with a problem, and my job is to find the solution. And, you know, the solution might be a hearing aid. And if it is it rechargeable batteries? Do you need a remote? Do you need something connected to the TV? Do you need to take the hair off the microphone so you're not bothered by it? And then sometimes the solution is you got to get some wax removed. And we do that, and boom, you're fine.
Yes, I was going to say
Yeah.
wax is very often a cause for not hearing properly.
It can be.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why I say it's a big hurdle to overcome in your head, like Russ had to do, of okay, well, it might be time for me to go get my hearing checked. And I appreciate that of every person that comes into my office. And sometimes the solution is not a hearing aid. Sometimes the solution is a visit to the ear, nose, and throat doctor for some medicine that might clear up an infection. And sometimes it's me removing wax out of your ear and then problem solved. And sometimes we are going to have the conversation of it's time. It's time to have, you know. So it doesn't have to be a scary thing. I mean, I can't take feelings away, and I know it is, but the reward on the other end is so worth it. So worth it. And I have many patients that if somebody out there is concerned and questioning, is this for me? And I want to talk to somebody who's been in my shoes, let me know. And I will have you talk to somebody who has been there, who has overcome the hurdle and is living a better life because of it.
And you definitely will lead a better life.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to
Absolutely.
take a break.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Experience Frontier Toyota's all-new hot and exciting Toyota lineup. Serving the Santa Clarita Valley for over 30 years. Frontier Toyota, the Camry, Corolla, and Prius Kings. They're tops in Tacoma and Tundra trucks. Frontier Toyota, the new way of car buying. Shop from home at frontiertoyota.com or visit their showroom at Valencia and Creekside. Discover a whole new car buying experience with your friends at Frontier Toyota.
Want to laugh at TMJ and that obscenely overpriced bike guard? Discover the 3 most common mistakes that must change to stop TMJ for good. Hi, I'm Dr. Thomas Pilecki, and WebMD chooses me as best chiropractor in functional medicine in Santa Clarita. Something to think about. So, when you're ready to get better, go to drpilecki.com. That's drpolucki.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Today for lunch, why not try The Sandwich Shop, located on Avenue Stamford, right off Rye Canyon. The Sandwich Shop offers dozens of hot or cold, affordable, premium deli sandwiches. Gourmet soups and salads are also available. Regulars indulge in the cheesy focaccia rolls, which is a customer favorite. Then top it off with owner Charlie Chung's chunky chocolate chip cookies. Breakfast and catering is also available. The Sandwich Shop, since 1983, located on Avenue Stamford, right off Rye Canyon. ValenciaSandwichShop.com to place your order.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to Mend, M-E-N-D, cryotherapy.com on Newhall Ranch Road in the Gateway Shopping Center.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
Santa Clarita now has its first comprehensive outpatient rehab facility. RenewMed's multidisciplinary team includes physicians, respiratory, physical, and occupational therapists, as well as social service professionals to provide superior therapy and customized treatment. Whether you've got COPD, COVID complications, or are keen on preventing a fall, they can assess your challenges and help you feel better. RenewMed on Lyons Avenue, just north of the 5. Visit RenewMedSCV.com. That's RenewMedSCV.com.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Dr. Ginny Veloz, owner of Santa Clarita Hearing Center, one of the sponsors of the Senior Hour. And Jean, during the break, you were talking about what, cochlear implants? Do you want to pick up that?
I was just, we haven't talked about cochlear implants in the past, and I think at some point with my mother and her deficit, it was suggested as a possibility, but she just elected not to go that route. And her brother, who had terrible hearing problems, he never went that route either. But of course, this was maybe 20-something years ago, and maybe they didn't feel comfortable with it. I don't know. But it is something that I think is an option for our patients to be able to hear better. And for some it can work, and for others it might not. But when would one of our seniors start, or family members start thinking about pursuing further when, they've had hearing aids, they're just not doing the job? When, Jenny, would one start thinking, maybe I have to utilize the technology a little bit more and get into cochlear implant?
Well, exactly like you said, when I'm wearing a hearing aid and it's no longer effective for me, I'm not hearing well, specifically in background noise. I'm not understanding. I'm hearing things, but I'm not understanding what people are saying. This is a conversation to have with your hearing doctor about, is there something else? And it could be a different hearing aid, something a little bit more powerful, something a little different. And if you're already in that power instrument, and you're still not getting what you need from it, then we start talking about a cochlear implant. Cochlear implant is, you have to qualify for it. It's not something that I can just say, okay, let's do it. Let's call the surgeon and let's
You have to
schedule it.
qualify for it?
We do very specific testing in quiet and in background noise. And in order to qualify for your insurance, you have to have certain scores low enough. And, the idea is that if you're scoring high enough with a hearing aid, then we don't want to, this is sort of, it's a surgery, not a brain surgery. A lot of people think, okay, I'm going to have brain surgery. It's not brain surgery. That's a myth. It's actually surgery of the ear itself. And, it is involved, and there's a healing time, and there's a definite acclimatization to hearing through a cochlear implant. It is very, very different. So is it something that we want to jump into? No. We want to do the testing, and we want to make sure this is the right option for you. Hearing wise, then you're going to go and you're going to meet with a surgeon, and you're going to discuss your health. And are you safe to do the surgery health wise? Age has nothing to do with it. Nothing. Age does not preclude you from having the surgery. They will do surgery on people who are over 100 as long as they qualify audiologically, hearing wise, and they are healthy enough to do it. They will do it. And they do. They do it.
So, Jenny, let me ask you a quick question then. Is it covered, are cochlear implants covered by Medicare?
Yes. If
Okay.
you meet the requirement.
If you meet the requirements,
completely
okay.
covered, yes.
So what do they do? Do they go inside your ear
When
and cut and make your ear larger? And
No.
is it complicated at all?
Well, not for the people who do it, which isn't
well,
me.
yeah.
They make an incision behind the ear,
Oh,
and it's in the crease right behind where the ear connects to the back of your head. So honestly, when that heals, you don't even see it. It's absolutely amazing.
interesting.
And what they do is, we know about the ear canal, we know about the eardrum, behind the eardrum, the little bones, and then that leads into the cochlea, which is that snail shape that has all those little tiny
Right.
hairs in there. And we're talking about people who have damaged all those little hairs. They don't work anymore. And when those little hairs move, they send an electrical signal to the brain. But if you don't have those hairs, they've died out. There's nothing there to send a signal to the brain that sound has been heard. So when you're wearing a hearing aid, we're sending sound through a broken system. It's a whole broken system. And so what you put in is what you get out, and the sound is broken, and we don't understand the words that are being said. So a cochlear implant bypasses all of that. It has nothing to do with any of that. The surgeon actually threads a little tiny electrode array into the snail-shaped cochlea.
Wow.
There's several electrodes in there. They're like little pieces of wet spaghetti, but very thin and small. And they're different lengths. There's some that are very short, some that are medium, and some that are very long. And what that does is the long runs go all the way through the snail shape into the very apex of it. And then the next one may only go halfway through. And then the next one might go a little shorter than that. Because along that line where all those little hairs are, it determines whether you're hearing a low pitch or a high pitch. Right?
How
So
interesting.
now with a processor worn on your ear, like a hearing aid, it looks like one that hangs on your ear, there's a microphone that's picking up sounds. And when a bass tone comes in, that tells the electrode that's in the very, very inside center core of that snail shell, buzz. That's a low pitch. And when a real high pitched sound comes in, keys jingling, a woman's voice talking, the microphone tells the little electrodes in the cochlea, okay, the one on the very end, the shortest one, buzz, because that's a high pitched sound.
Wow.
And the brain is now hearing these sounds again. Does it sound like the way you hear now? No, absolutely not. My patients tell me everybody sounds like Mickey Mouse. Everybody, beep, 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 beep. It's very difficult. But you do your homework. You listen to people talking. And if you can have the closed caption at the same time, we have people listen to TED Talks, right? There's thousands of TED Talks on any topic that you want to know about. But the nice thing about TED Talks is that while you're hearing the person speaking, you have real-time captions on the bottom. So now you're hearing and looking and retraining the brain what those words sound like again. And I'm telling you, I have patients who had zero understanding, very little hearing, that are hearing completely normal.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a really, really amazing thing. But you need to qualify for it hearing-wise, qualify for the surgery health-wise, and you have got to do the homework. If you do not do the homework, you're never going to get to that point. You have to do the work. But
Wow.
it's worth it on the other end, for
Oh,
sure.
yes, I can
It's an
well
amazing
imagine.
technology. It used to be, back 20 years ago, it used to be something that we would only do on people where they're essentially deaf and there's no other option but this. And now we have people who hear the low pitches, fine. The very high pitches, nothing. Can't hear a thing.
Mm.
Right? So we have this huge extreme. So now the surgeons can say, those ones that go real deep inside where the base is, I'm not going to put them in that deep. I'm going to only put them in halfway because
Interesting.
they hear normal.
Right.
They don't need any help. Right? So we're only going to hit the high frequencies. And then let's say in the future they start to lose their hearing. Then we just add a hearing aid onto the processor and you hear both through a hearing aid and a cochlear implant together. It's called a hybrid solution. So it's come such a long way than it was 20 years ago when I started in this field. Huge difference. Most people are being implanted binaurally now. Adults do one, and then they usually a year later they go in and have the second one if that's something that they want to do. Children are usually implanted with both right off the bat.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Wait. My
Do you need
goodness.
like a CAT scan of your head beforehand, or anything like that
Yeah.
prior to?
Yeah.
Just to make sure the surgeon knows the markings and the map of where things are going to go.
Absolutely, because in some cases there's the cochlea isn't it doesn't evolve properly, and it's deformed in some way, and it might be that it narrows down at the apex way down in the middle, so narrow that an electrode couldn't get through, or sometimes it's just not feasible, or the surgeon wants to know. There should be no question about what the surgeon finds when they get in there. It's the surgeons I work with through UCLA, through House Ear Institute. They're very good and specifically do this surgery all the time. It's not something they do once or twice a year, and that's the important thing. You want somebody who does this a lot, and the surgeons that I work with do that a lot.
Does it require a battery, or you don't
It
want to be
does.
walking around with a 9-volt battery stuck to the side of your head? I kind of figure there's got to get a charge from somewhere, and you don't want to have you don't sit near an outlet with a cord sticking out of your head.
Right. No, it has the piece that hangs on the ear. Part of the piece that hangs behind the ear is a battery. And what you do is at night you just twist the battery and it comes right off, and you put it in a charger, and the company gives you 2 power battery sources so that in case one goes bad, you have another one. And
How long do the batteries last?
It's good for a full day.
Charging-wise?
It's good
Full
for
day.
full day. And if you're going to go more than 24 hours, you're going to have a really long day and you lose the battery of one, you go to the other one. It's fully charged for you. The companies are really good about, they never want you down without hearing, because we know that once you take that implant off, most of the time you have 0 hearing. So they always give you 2 of everything. And there are connecting to the phone, and they have you connecting to the TV just the same way hearing aids do. You can stream music. And I'm going to tell you, I have a patient of mine. Well, she's not a patient of mine anymore. She had lost hearing completely in one ear. And we took one hearing aid away, and we fit her with a cross hearing aid that is a different type of device. And then she came into me one morning, and I will never forget it. Her face was like blank, and she goes, nothing. I don't have it. I can't hear a thing. Nothing. So she had a large vestibular aqueduct. that it took her hearing like that instant. And so she had nothing. So we sent her quickly with a surgeon. She got implanted. She did her homework. She did great. She ended up going for the second one. But I'm going to tell you, so she doesn't see me because she doesn't wear hearing aids, and her implant audiologist is she actually moved away. But I ran into her at the gym in a spin class, and I was like, wow, I haven't seen you in a while. And she picked the bike right next to me, and I thought, oh, Lordy, because you have to be able to hear the person leading the class telling you what to do with the bike, and the music is going, and you're concentrating. And I was like, I don't want to have to be telling her what the class, the teacher is telling us to do, because I want to focus for myself. And I'm going to tell you what, I was asking her, what did the instructor say?
Oh, wow.
She could hear
everything
better than me.
Wow.
Yes,
Isn't that
ma'am.
amazing?
Yep,
Wow.
absolutely. And I was like, holy cow, I can't believe it.
Oh, wow.
And she's moved away now, but she's using her implants, living her life, doing phenomenal, and, doing well.
How is it with music? You mentioned music in the spin class, but what if you were to go to a Hollywood Bowl? Do people enjoy going to concerts? And if they're violinists or cellists, can they discern the notes still, or is that made much more difficult no matter what?
No matter what. Music is such a it's a very complicated sound process, and it's very hard to duplicate that. The hearing aids are getting better. We do have a couple of manufacturers who specialize with music, and our patients tell us music actually sounds really good. But, I have people that want to play the piano, and it's hard to tell what middle C is, and the notes don't sound the same. Practice. The more you listen to it, don't get frustrated. Take your time. Just the more you do it, the more you expose yourself, the more of a chance you have to get to that point where you can enjoy that again.
Yeah. What about driving? And if you hear, sirens, sometimes it's even hard to pick up sirens with, your own radio going. But, are sirens a problem? Because it could be a danger if you can't hear or discern them. Do the cochlear implants allow us to be able to perceive them okay?
Within normal limits.
Oh, within normal limits. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the patients that I've worked with have all gotten within normal or very, very close to normal hearing, which would allow them to be able to hear a siren coming. And we do go, it doesn't go out to 15,000 hertz or anything, but enough that you would hear a siren coming with normal hearing. Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
And how about if you wanted to go swimming? Is there? You don't get an electric shock or anything?
No, they have a special
shower.
They have a little contraption you put the processor into. It makes it completely waterproof. So kids can go swimming, go underwater, enjoy yourself. It won't damage the processor.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And we need to take another break.
Okay.
They come so quickly.
I know.
I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you. Why did Mercedes-Benz of Valencia win the Dealer of Excellence Award in 2019?
Because we strive to provide the most outstanding sales experience.
Mercedes-Benz of Valencia COO Chris Paz.
We know you have high expectations. Our stellar team will meet and exceed your expectations. That's why we were named Mercedes Best of the Best, placing us in the top 10% of all Mercedes dealers nationwide.
Find out how you can lease a new Mercedes for unbelievably low monthly payments. Details at mbzvalencia.com.
Aloha, friends! Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
If you're in danger of losing your home to foreclosure, you need an expert. Hi, I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty. I've helped hundreds of Santa Clarita residents save their homes completely for free. I've got just over 20 years experience and a loan modification success rate of over 80%. I can negotiate better terms with your bank and I can save your home from foreclosure. And again, we do this completely for free. So if you're in any danger, please call me today at 661-714-1400. That number again is 661-714-1400. I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty, and I'll be happy to help you save your home for free.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And Jean, I wanted to go back to you. You were talking about your mother's kids.
Brother, yeah, my uncle.
And using sign language. And it's interesting because my daughter was, many years ago, was with a group of her friends, and one of them was deaf. Mm-hmm. And she became very cognizant of the fact that he couldn't hear. And when they were over at his home, his parents weren't even interested in learning sign language. Everything had to be written down. And she decided, you know what? I'm going to learn to communicate with him. And she decided that she was going to go through sign language, go to school and learn sign language. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting because she's working with the school district in Palmdale. Mm-hmm. And it was very, very frustrating to her and her daughter, my granddaughter, because she did the same thing and went into sign language, because the kids had a hard time. They had to use the computer to communicate with them. which was very hard to do. But now that they have gone back to school, of course, the social distancing, but now she can actually communicate with them using sign language. She said it was so frustrating before then, but now things seem to be getting back to normal. And with them social distancing in school, they don't have to wear their masks when they want to communicate, you know. And she and my granddaughter are just delighted that this has come to pass, because it was so frustrating before. You know.
For all those teachers, they're all going to heaven.
Yes.
It's been very difficult.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But with sign language, she was able to communicate with her friend.
Yeah.
And eventually, his parents started getting involved. Wait a minute. Sign language? I can communicate with him through sign language? And they finally learned.
Good.
Which was a blessing for him, because he was able to communicate with them. And them with him.
Imagine.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
But
but
that's how my daughter got
Into
involved
sign
with
language.
sign language, because she
that
had
is so
a
admirable,
friend
Barbara, that
who
you
could
did that.
not
Wow.
hear,
Yeah.
you know, and she wanted to communicate
Who
with
knows
him.
when our lives are going to be changed?
You never know.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because when I'm driving around, I hear the cars coming by with music so loud that I have to roll my windows up.
Yeah.
And what it's doing to those kids in that car, their hearing
And that's why
is ruining them.
we're fitting people with hearing aids
Yes.
in their 40s, 50s,
Yes.
a lot more than we used to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So
It really is.
our listeners want to get a hold of you,
Yes.
Jenny, can you give us your contact information?
Yes, you can call my office at 661-388-4135. Website is SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com. And we're located right on the campus of Henry Mayo Hospital here in Valencia.
Yes.
Yeah, so for our listeners, if you are visiting a friend or a relative and you walk up to their home and the TV, you can hear the TV from the curb. It's something to think about, that, maybe there is a hearing problem there that definitely needs to be taken care of. Dr. Jenny Veloz, thank you.
Thank you.
Again for such a great education. And, we need sign language, yes, but for those who can hear or potentially can hear, you are doing a great job in helping those in Santa Clarita in getting their hearing back. Thank you so much. We are sponsored by Santa Clarita Hearing Center, Comfort Keepers in-Home Care. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.